And again, let's go back in history and talk about Marques Colston, Saints Hall of Fame wide receiver. Um, yes, his rookie minicamp was almost a complete disaster because, and I've heard the story told a couple of times back, and then you don't hear much about it anymore, but it had made the circulation for years about this time of year um, for the Saints because Colston had openly admitted that he was thinking rookie minicamp was going to be more like a little orientation. And no, under Sean, it wasn't a college orientation, it was an NFL orientation. You better have shown up ready, in shape, ready to go, play. They were going to throw information at you. You were going to have to absorb it. You were going to get out on the field, show them that you knew what was going on, what they were talking about. Because it's kind of meetings as well as practice in these type of off-season activities. And we've heard from both sides. Colston kind of saying, I thought I was going to get cut from the team right then and there. It was such a horrible experience, and kind of from Sean and some of the organization going, yeah, we thought even though he was a 7th round pick, we thought we made a huge mistake. We zero value. But it worked out in the end, I would think, because between that rookie minicamp and the next OTA, Colston got his head screwed on straight, got in shape, went in there, showed him that attitude that put him in the New Orleans Saints Hall of Fame. Was a key part. In fact, I think you could honestly say no Marques Colston, no Super Bowl in 2009. So there's a lot of importance here going on. And the reason why I bring up the Colston story, because I think it illustrates something that is kind of, I don't know if it's completely gone from the Saints culture, but something that was fostered from 2006 to 2020, but I think we started losing it even when Sean was here and running the organization. But competition and accountability. I think we've been lacking, especially in accountability the last few years. But I think even the competition, because those teams, those core teams for the Saints, for the most part, from 2006 to 2020, they were competitive with each other. I mean, the stories about them one year for training camp, Sean giving them a surprise day off, and they went to some water park with a giant slide, and they were having a competition off this giant slide who could skim all the way across the pool into the far side into the deck chairs. Now, granted, that's probably not the greatest use of your competitive spirit, and I believe the Saints coaching would shut that down real fast. But that was the mentality. They were going to compete, not necessarily in a way that was bad, but good. The way good competition among teammates, whatever it is, off the field, on the field, translate into that competitive, fierce fighting spirit those teams had. That I know I'm not the only one that has questioned how much of it, where is it, the last couple of years. I want to see it back. I think it starts in this offseason. And accountability goes right next to it. Because Colston definitely was going to be held accountable for, this, in all honesty, in comparison, in a real world comparison, where what he basically did was, in that rookie minicamp that first year, is any of us went to a new job and basically looked incompetent so much that during the in the job training portion, where okay, we're gonna teach you how to do the job we need you to do during this phase of your employment, but it's going to be hands-on, and in the case of the NFL, it's going to be hands-on, pads on, whatever. And it was the equivalent at the beginning of that Colston story of your first day at that job, and by lunchtime, management's looking at you going, I think we made a mistake, man. We're probably going to have to get rid of this person before the end of the day. And that's kind of, but the accountability kicked in. And so when he showed up from then on, thankfully, for everyone involved, including a Saints fan who was sitting in Miami that when we won that Super Bowl. Yeah, the accountability and definitely the competitiveness. Colston has to be a prime example of that. The guy was the third to last pick in the draft, survived the disastrous, really, first 3 days of working for the Saints, and turned himself into one great, arguably the best wide receiver the Saints ever had, on the best team. Unarguably, it's the only Super Bowl winner that they've ever had. I think it starts here. I think the coaching staff, the organization, the players, both new and old, all need to start there with that new competitive, not new, rekindle that competitive spirit, but definitely accountability and put it all together. You want to turn this organization around. We can talk about draft picks and resets and fixing the salary cap and all that other stuff. Doesn't mean cover your ears, youngsters. Doesn't mean jack shit if they don't fix the competition and the accountability issues that, unless you're completely blind, has been going on in this organization for far too long. Because having it go on at all is far too long.